Hi everyone, Melissa here. I'm back with another video, and this week's topic is all about resistance and blocks and how to tell if you have cleared them all as it relates to your manifestations. So if that's something you've been questioning or wondering about or thinking about, this video is for you. And before I get into today's topic, just a reminder, I have a sale going on now through the end of 2025. That's coaching, that's courses, everything's on sale. And there's also an opportunity to get free coaching with me. So check out all that information in the description of this video. Okay, this topic came about through a client question, and this person was wondering, how do you know when you've cleared every block you had related to your manifestation? How do you know when you've got no resistance to your desires? So first, let's talk about what blocks and resistance are. To me, blocks and resistance can be grouped in the same category, and that is anything you are perceiving as a limitation or an obstacle to you getting what you want. Anything you are thinking about that is in the way of or is preventing you from being able to manifest what you want. You could have resistance or blocks, perceived resistance or blocks in the form of a person. It could be a thing. It could be distance. It could be time. It could be something inanimate. It's any idea that you've got in your mind that equals a reason why you can't or don't have what you want right now. So a quick and easy way that I like to tell all my clients when they're trying to figure out, what their thoughts are on their manifestation and what's their story that's getting in their way of getting what they want. The first thing I would say is, well, do you believe in the idea of resistance and blocks? Because if you believe they exist, then that's a possibility for you to experience. So some clients will work on changing their belief that there even is such a thing as resistance and blocks. Because ultimately, if you have 100% faith and knowing that you create your reality via your imagination, via your thoughts, via your assumptions, via your beliefs, then how could anything get in the way of that? If you 1000% knew that that's how reality works, then there's no such thing as resistance or blocks, because you just know that every time you assume something as true for you, you get to experience it manifested in your reality. So that's the first way you could approach it. Another way I really like to get clients to see where their current story is contradicting their wanted story is, how do you think about your manifestation? How do you think about your desire? What are your first, if I ask you, what do you think is true? Let's say you're trying to manifest an SP. What do you think is true about your SP? Whatever your immediate answer is, it's going to tell me everything I need to know about the story you have going on, about the truth of whatever it is. If your first comment after that is, they rejected me or they don't want to talk to me. Okay, well, right there's two things that you are perceiving that are preventing you from getting the manifestation or the outcome that you want, which is back together or together in the first place. Okay, let's do the same thing with money. If I ask you, what do you think about money? Well, I think money is really hard to get. Okay, well, right there, you've got an opinion, you've got an assumption that equals the opposite of what you want. You want money to be easy to get. You want money to flow to you, but you're sitting here all day thinking it's hard to get. That could be considered a block, resistance. It's something you are mentally putting in the way of getting your desire. Anything you are thinking that is in your mind a reason why you can't or don't have what you want right now, that is resistance and blocks. So how do you tell if you don't have any of that? Well, if you can answer the question without giving a reason, if you can answer the question without giving a reason why you can't have your desire, then you don't have any resistance. You know what story you're telling about whatever it is you're trying to manifest, because you either feel really good about it or neutral, or you either feel really bad about it. And if you feel really bad about it, you're clearly telling a story that equals what you don't want is true right now about your desire. So to check in with yourself to see if you have resistance or blocks regarding your manifestation, regarding your desire, ask yourself, tell yourself, my desire is true right now. And then see what pops in your head after that. If the first thing you hear in your mind is, well, no, it's not because, whatever's after because is what you are telling yourself is preventing the truth of what you want, the truth of your manifestation. So remember, if we go back to Neville Goddard and the law of assumption, what you assume to be true equals your experience in your reality. And an assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. So if you want to change what you are perceiving as true about any kind of limitation related to your desire, you just have to start choosing a different assumption. So when you figure out how you finish that sentence, let's go back to an example. Let's say, let's go back to SP. That's such a popular topic. Okay, so let's say you want to be dating this specific person, okay? And I tell you, okay, it's true right now. You guys are dating right now. Accept that truth, and it will push out in your experience. Decide that that's true, command that's true, claim that's true, and it will push out in your reality. Well, if you immediately think, well, no, we're not, because we're not even in contact, they don't even know I exist, right there. There's your block, there's your resistance. There's your self-imposed limitation. So if you are giving yourself reasons why you can't have what you want right now, or why what you want right now is not true, you have not cleared up blocks or resistance. You are holding firm in those blocks and resistance because you are holding on to the identity of the person who believes that these things are in the way of my desire being true. These things are in the way and my manifestation is not here yet. These things are preventing my manifestation from unfolding. So to say it in another way, check in about your story as it relates to your desire. If it helps you to write it out, write it out. What do I think is true right now about what I want? What do I think is true right now about whatever it is I'm trying to manifest? Look at what you write down. If any of it equals that your manifestation is not true, that it's not happening, that it's taking too long, or any reason why you can't have it or you don't have it, right there, that's how you know you've not cleared it up. You've not changed your story. You've not got zero resistance. So it's pretty easy to figure out if you're living from the end. If you've got resistance, you're not living from the end that you want. You're living from the end, which equals I don't have it yet. It's not here yet. It's not happening yet. That's how you can tell what end you're living from and if you've cleared if you've got zero resistance. So you just, the best part about all this is in every moment you can choose to clear this all up very quickly. And the way you do that is pick a better assumption. So like I said in the beginning of this video, if you want to choose to believe that because you know how reality works and that your assumptions are boss, that there's no resistance because you choose to assume that there is none, and you choose to only trust in the assumption that what you want is true, that's a perfectly valid, awesome way to go about it. If that feels too hard for you, then pick apart the story you're telling yourself about your desire. Very simple. Ask yourself, why do I think that I can't have or that I don't have what I want right now? Whatever your answer is, there's your resistance. There's the limitation you're imposing on yourself for why it's not manifested yet. Okay? And if you find yourself constantly questioning, that's your limitation. That's your resistance as well, because it all comes back to the knowing. If you know, like you know what your name is, like you know where you live, like you know where you come from, like you know who you are, if you know that you are God of your reality and everything you assume is true gets pushed out in your experience, if you know that, then you know that when you change your assumption, your experience changes. So it takes the pressure off of the resistance. It takes the pressure off fighting against what you want. You know, just because you can't see it out here, don't make that resistance. Don't make that mean that it's not true. Don't make that mean that whatever you're doing mentally is not working. Don't make that mean that you don't have it yet. Don't make that mean that you're failing. Just choose to continue to assume that what I say goes, and this is what's true now, period. And then it will unfold like that. I just had an awesome client call today, and she's seeing what she's perceiving as movement with her specific person. And it's been a really long time since she perceived any movement. Why? Because she finally stopped agreeing that there was no movement. She stopped resisting the new story and just allowed it to be true. So you don't ever have to see it for it to be true. You will see it at some point, and that can validate the story that you already have about the truth of your desire. But it all comes down to, what am I telling myself is true right now about whatever it is I want? If anything comes to mind that equals, I can't have it right now, or I don't have it right now, or it's not possible for me because of this, and this, then you do not have zero resistance. And those are the things, those are the resistant thoughts. Those are the contrary thoughts. Those are the contrary assumptions that you need to get rid of if you want to experience that manifestation in your physical world. So I hope this helped. Just to recap really quickly, start knowing, go back to the basics and start knowing how reality works. You are the one and only perceiver, and it is only ever the present moment. So whatever you are perceiving or assuming as your truth is going to be reflected back to you in the screen in front of your eyeballs, in the reality that you are experiencing. So get firm in that knowing, and you'll find that you'll have a lot less resistance to everything, because you know how it all works. You know you are the operant power. And then secondly, if you're just really not sure, like I'm feeling pretty neutral, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm just really not sure if I have any resistance to this, manifestation, ask yourself, do I think this is true right now? If the answer is no, why? Why don't I think this is true right now? That's your resistance. That's your self-imposed block. That's your self-imposed limitation. So anything you are perceiving as an obstacle to you getting what you want, that's telling you have resistance. You have told yourself there's something in the way, there's something preventing what you want from manifesting. Okay? And if you need help figuring out where you're at in this scale of no resistance, or if you believe that there even is resistance in your experience, I would love to help you. I'm available for coaching, like I said, and I have a big sale. Info is in the link description of this video. And if you have any video topics you'd like to see, please put that in the comments. I would love to make more videos about what you want to hear. So I intend this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.